Well, let's see what we got. Oh, okay. Not gonna lie, I really dislike the fact that the Wii Pro Controller doesn't have gyro, but the gamepad does. Like, to me, that was always a really weird call, and I'm not a fan. I also need the deck relief for this. You know, the weird part is when Link has a sword but no shield, he holds it in like this, like, he still has the same stance. But like when holding any other item, he has a normal stance. So it's like they could have programmed that in at the beginning, but they didn't. He's just perpetually holding a shield. I was gonna ask that there's like another tourney or something, but I forgot. There's something else I meant to talk about. And I don't know if I want to open this can of worms on stream, but oh, that wasn't worth it. A joy pendant. But I'm actually, like, unreasonably interested in Final Fantasy VII, even though everything says I shouldn't be, because of things like, mainly the episodic structure normally would be kind of a turn-off for me, but everything about the game looks good enough that I'm still sort of in. Yeah, the game is going to be like split into multiple parts, which is kind of a deal breaker for some, but to me, it all looks so good. Yeah, that's the one downside, everything's full price, but they say it's like each, like, in terms of data size, each game is going to be the size of like Red Dead Redemption 2. So, it's at least gonna be like a decently long game, hopefully. Maybe it's also just because I'm a sucker for really pretty looking games. And Final Fantasy VII is looking very pretty so far. Too early. I wish I had bomb shoes for this specific room, because bomb shoes would really make that a lot easier. See, I'm hoping it's like good and decent amount of content, but the whole oh, it only goes to the end of like Midgar is a little concerning. Yeah, it's on PS4 only. Oh, wrong spot. One concern I have is also if each game is 2 discs. I think it's also just because I do have mixed feelings on Final Fantasy VII to begin with. I'm one of those people who liked the game, but didn't love 7 as much as most. So this whole full reimagining to me is like a cool idea, because maybe it'll finally be what I want it to be a little bit more. As slightly selfish as that sounds. I also just like action RPGs nowadays, probably more than turn-based, so that's also an appealing facet of it. People don't usually... It's like Final Fantasy is one of those you either love it or hate it kind of things, or indifference. Yeah, hate's a strong word, but yeah, maybe indifference. It's also so early. Like Final Fantasy, like early, like super early JRPGs kind of don't grab people. It's like, I feel like that's why SNT never took off, even though Persona did. Well, if I'm gonna go on a Persona tangent, maybe I should wait until Futaba gets back. Clearly, the weird part is with the Tower of the Gods, I always mess up the order of the first section, the water room, and then after that point, I can usually fly through the rest of it, no problem. So like, I'm in the like complete like autopilot section of the dungeon now. Yeah, I have to jump back. Yeah, cliches exist because someone had to do it first. To me, that's why Final Fantasy 6, 7, 9, and 10 hold up the best. Because they managed to subvert cliches that already existed at the time. So they hold up a little bit better. Only problem is 7's subversion is the most known spoiler of any game, practically, so it's not as subversive because everyone knows what the spoiler is. Yeah, it's a case of the timing. Yeah, and that's also true. Chrono Trigger is one of those games that never feels dated. You can jump into Chrono Trigger now and still have like a decent time with it. Which is wonderful. Alright, we're done collecting statues after this, so that's good. Is it that cliche though? It's another question. Actually, yeah, it kinda is. Everything is just done super well in Chrono Trigger that I feel like that carries the game. It's not about what is in the game, it's about how it's executed, and that's where Chrono Trigger thrives. I've only played the DS version. I've been sort of following the LP, but I'll be honest, it's kind of like... it's for some reason not, like, super high on my priority list of, like, Let's Plays at the moment. And I don't know why, because it is a very good Let's Play. Same with like Black and White, I did not get into that Let's Play, even though everything about it was super well done. I think it's also just because I don't care for those games. I need to go back and finish that LP, actually, since I never... What happened was, last year, I was moving to a different place. So, I was trying to play along, and also in the process of trying to move, so I just fell super far behind, and then it was a case of like, it didn't hook me because I was so busy at the time. Which is a shame, but oh well, sometimes that happens. I do need to play Black and White again. Only time I finished the game is when it came out, and I was like super over Pokemon. So my opinion was always kind of like, I don't get it, as I don't see what everyone else sees in this game, kind of an attitude. You know what, we have time, we're gonna go back for that treasure chart. Like, I'm not gonna be one of those that's like, oh my god, Gen 5 is the worst. Because it does a lot of things super well. However, it just never hooked me, because I was so not into Pokemon at that time. I don't know why it said my mic peaked. I didn't feel like I was talking any louder. I think it's over on the side. It is. Cool. Yeah, it's actually considered the best one now, even though it's considered kind of... And now everyone's like, Gen 4 is bad, which I also don't know how to feel about, because I personally like Gen 4 quite a bit. I see a lot of disparaging about, specifically Diamond and Pearl. Which feels kind of cheap, actually. Because it's like, yeah, why are you judging based on Diamond and Pearl? Because, you know, Platinum exists. Yeah, and 6 and 7 get a lot of hate. I'm lukewarm towards 6. I generally enjoyed Sun and Moon. Like, I didn't really have any problems with Sun and Moon for some reason. But also, no gen has grabbed me in the same way as Platinum. Okay, water. For some reason the water was taking forever to rise. Hello, welcome back. Also, now I can go back to what I was saying. Shin Megami Tensei is inherently super dated. So, like... everyone just talks about Persona because it's like the modernized style that was established back with SMT, but it's like no one can get into it now. It's like I tried Shin Megami Tensei 4 and I absolutely didn't like it. I gave up at the tutorial because it was that unenjoyable, because it was so archaic. Like... SMT is also just designed to be super, super difficult, and that's... For RPGs, that's not my thing. For platformers, I can get into a really, really hard platformer. I can't do that with RPGs. Yeah, it's like Persona used to be a cult franchise. Like, I remember, like, when I got into it, like, Persona 4 was considered, like, super niche and weebish and, generally... I mean, okay, let's be honest, it's still considered the worst mainline Persona game, but still... I say mainline Persona because I don't count Persona 1 and 2 as mainline games because Atlus doesn't treat them like mainline games. Big key! Okay, we do need to fight the Armos. I really want to play PQ, not PQ, P1 and P2, just because I do like Persona, and I do want to give those games a legitimate try. Maybe someday. Like, conceptually, I'm super into Persona 2, actually. Like, there's a lot of really fascinating ideas and story concepts, but just, I don't know, the gameplay looks meh. I guess these are BMOS, but they don't really feel like BMOS. Yeah, this is not needed. I'm just wasting arrows at this point, but still. Fun fact, I tried to watch a playthrough of Persona 2 and I bailed partway through because I was like, you know what, I should play this myself someday. I never got around to it. I should have captured that fairy in a bottle. Oh, this boss. This boss is actually really fascinating. Because he's spawned in at all times, even after you defeat him. So he's a rare boss, and you can actually photograph at any time. Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about Persona Q, is just having so many characters. It's sort of overwhelming, having to actually level them all. You have done well to find your way to this place. I've chosen one. Accept this final challenge. Didn't Donkey Kong Country Returns' final boss involve giant hands? I don't remember Returns because I only played it like twice. Yeah. Third boss, the second game's final boss is like... yeah. A little bit more inventive, but I actually found it a lot harder. We talked about how this boss just keeps bombs and arrows up its nose at all times. My main issue with Tropical Freeze's final boss was when platforms would start dropping out, which was often. It was sort of, in that point, more about memorization patterns, and it's just sort of reflexes. I feel like there was some other attack that like knocked out like all the platforms in a sequence. But I don't remember, it's been a while. Like I picture falling icicles, and I don't know if that's actually a mechanic of that fight, because... or if I'm thinking of a different fight. Also, I'm almost out of arrows. Which kinda sucks, because this is like the second to last hit. Almost made it through without having to recharge. Oh, come on, Link. Lock on to the right guy, please. Okay. I feel like Wind Waker's bosses are kind of... and also Twilight Princess has fairly easy bosses, on the whole. The path can now be opened. Oh, chosen one. What will now come to pass is tied to your fate, to the path that you have chosen. Go forward with caution.